Well, there's nothing surer about an Australian summer than at least a few natural disasters. WA is still dealing with bushfires. The East Coast is soaked and is likely to have to face flooding, while the usual number of seasonal cyclones will cause the usual number of people in stress. National Senator Bridget McKenzie is the Minister for Emergency Management, National Recovery and Resilience and joins us now from Canberra. Senator, thank you very much for your time. You welcomed one of those giant air tankers today. We can't have enough of them, can we?
No, we can't, Chris. It was fantastic to welcome a large air tanker to Richmond Air Force Base in New South Wales. This morning it arrived via Honolulu, Samoa and Fiji. It's already left, I might say, and is assisting with those Perth, WA bushfires as we speak. So a fantastic outcome as a result of our government's investment in ensuring that we have a national sovereign capability when it comes to that aerial firefighting fleet to be deployed wherever our fire chiefs deem it necessary, whenever. And so this large air tanker can dump in excess of 15,000 litres of water or retardant in under 10 seconds, return, pick up another load and get right back out to service and support our on-the-ground career and professional firefighters during a bushfire. It's much welcomed across the country.
You'd have to presume that it will have work to do in WA in January.
Absolutely. As we got our high-risk weather season detailed reporting, a couple of months ago, I've been briefing state emergency management ministers and obviously emergency agencies at the state and territory level have been working together. We're in a La Nina and on the East Coast, we know that. We've had a lot of water. Our dams are in excess of 100% in many cases, and there's going to be more to come. But what we've seen on the West Coast is obviously a good season, good rains in the spring have meant we've got a lot of ground cover, which means there's a lot of undergrowth for this type of bushfire which you're seeing in WA at the moment.
Your government has done a pretty good job in the last few years being there when it counts for recovery and rebuilding. But what are we doing about preventing the extent of the disaster? And I mean the damage from disaster.
Yeah, Chris, you make a really good point. One of the outcomes of the Royal Commission into Natural Disasters was, and Productivity Commission reports into disaster funding and the like, is in our country of drought and flooding rains, we know that we spend 97% of our funds and our effort in that immediate after response to a natural disaster and only 3% in actually preparing for the next one, which we know is going to come each and every season, whether it's a cyclone, whether it's bushfire, whether it's floods. And so we're, as a government, wanting to change that investment. So we've announced the Preparing Australia program, a $600 million program. Round one is open right now, $150 million for local councils right across the country to put in for applications to better prepare their communities for the next disaster and to lessen the impact when that disaster occurs. For the bushfire recovery in the 1920 Black Summer bushfires, we've invested $2.8 billion in that recovery effort. And we've also got an emergency future fund, if you like, the interest of which provides $50 million a year to really spend on particular projects. And as a government, we've chose to invest in flood mitigation projects with local councils and state governments because they're quite often very expensive. And so we can really assist get that much needed infrastructure in place before the next season. And I mean, we know that we're not going to be without disaster in this country, but as governments, local, state and federal, we can better support our communities and keep Australians safe if we prepare better for the future and build that resilience, not just in our infrastructure, but in our broader community as well.
Yeah, it really is an acceptance of what, as a people, we go through each and every summer. It can be so traumatic. While I've got you, isn't it time, and this is a widespread discussion today, that states moved away from this expensive, time-consuming process of ensuring that everyone's got a PCR to travel over the border, to go into aged care, to get into a hospital. And we should be relying on rapid antigen testing, should we not?
Well, Chris, this is an ongoing debate, and I think as we move to this next phase of dealing with the pandemic and learning to live with this virus in our communities, we know from the national plan that now that we're in excess of 90% fully vaccinated community and we're rolling out our booster program, lockdowns are going to be a thing of the past. But we do need a testing and tracing system that gives us confidence and keeps us safe. So we know that cases are going to rise as we reach this phase of the plan and of dealing with the pandemic. It's the ICU cases that we really need to be keeping our eye on. And it's great news with this current variant that doesn't seem to be trending at the same rate that the case numbers do. And it's just devastating on the eve of Christmas when you see those long queues at testing stations. They're not there because they're close contact of anybody. They're not there because they've got symptoms. They're simply in that queue, often with their toddlers and babies, to actually get the prerequisite for them to visit family that they may not have seen for up to 2 years. It's just devastating. So I'd be calling on premiers to obviously follow health advice, the best practice, but I'm sure that we can find a more efficient and effective way to keep everyone safe.
We must. Senator, have a great Christmas and thank you very much for your accessibility throughout the year. It's been great.
Absolute pleasure. Have a great Christmas, Chris.
Good on you. Thank you. Senator Bridget McKenzie.